Come back. I see you with the blingery going. So the YouTube streets must be treating you well. Talk about the transformation. You know what I'm saying? We do see you glowing up. We see the glow up.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Well, life is about transforming. So the more you learn, the more you grow, the more you tap into unrealized parts of yourself. So when I first started this thing, it's always been about women's empowerment for me. But I learned so much going along, and what I've come to realize, part of the glow up for me is realizing that women need a lot more help than they're actually getting, because their issues are not just surrounded by men. Most of their issues lie within themselves. And coming to realize that the message has taken on a new evolutionary path in a direction that I didn't even know how deep it could be. But at this stage in the ball game with leadership development and things like that, we're evolving into speaking at conferences and events and things like that to really, really hone down where women need to really transform to help themselves, because I think we get really lost in this idea of relationships. So where I've evolved into is really more of a spiritual direction as opposed to just focusing on relationships, if that makes sense.
That's good, because I was actually going to ask you, right? If anybody's followed you, right, you have some quote unquote controversial, if you will, thoughts about men versus women or men and women. Mm-hmm. Have any of those thoughts or the things that you preach, has any of those changed or evolved, right? I remember watching Malcolm X movie, and he said that, at first he was so centered on only black people till he traveled the world and seen that other white people believe in Islam just like they do. Mm-hmm. And so he evolved, and that's kind of what changed him. Now that you speaking to many women, many men about these scenarios that you preach, has your stance changed, or is it still the same?
It's still the same, but it has evolved, because when I began doing this, I've always saw it in phases, and I've always saw it as an evolutionary path. And in my mind, I've always known that women needed a lot of help, that women needed a lot of development. But in order to start that process, women needed to know about men, because ultimately women don't know anything about men. They think they do, but they don't. They know nothing. And so a lot of women have their identities wrapped up in men. So speaking about men are really only like 10% of the equation. Women are 90% of the equation. So
she can't let go of the bullshit though. She getting to the heart of the issue, but she can't let go of the bullshit. She's still sitting up here, men are 10% of the equation, women are 90% of the equation. If it ain't 50-50, it ain't nothing. At least 50-50. Or 60-40. 60-40 men. But the men got a big part in this. Because for some reason, a lot of these women try to act like they can just do without men. That just ain't happening. You can eat all the coochie you want and suck all the titties you want. You ain't finna chop no wood. You ain't finna kill no animals. You ain't finna cut no meat. You ain't finna run in no buildings and save nobody. You ain't finna jump in no water and save somebody if it's like those hurricanes. You ain't finna do none of that stuff. I don't hardly see any women. I don't see any women doing no stuff like that. They get mad and say, "Oh, well, we was out there when George Floyd was killed and shit like that." That's nothing, bro. That's nothing. You gotta be real. That ain't shit, fool. The shit that men can do, women can't do it. I'm sorry to tell you that. I don't care if it hurts your feelings either. You can't do what a man can do. You need men, whether you a lesbian or not.
After I talked about men are men. They can't be anything more than that. They're not going to change. They're not going to become cats, dogs, they're not going to evolve into women. So after I finish speaking about men, there's really nothing else to tell women about men that I haven't already told them. So once that conversation is over, now we have to turn the mirror towards women. And what you find out is that in these dynamics, 90% of the discussion has to be on women. And I find that women have a lot of problems. I find that women are very, very narcissistic, and they do not realize it. I think women lack a lot of self-awareness. And
women
how
ain't
I've
right.
taken my message,
That's
because
nasty
I've
and
got
wrong.
a little comedic edge, I find a way to show women themselves in a way that not many people can get women to admit that they are wrong. I have a way of getting women to admit, damn, I'm a terrible person, right? I've gotten women to see how terrible they are as
She can get women to see how terrible they are. Yes, she's a woman, and she can't see how terrible she is and what she's doing, bro. It's still a level of narcissism and delusion with this Princella chick. It's a lot of that going on. She talking as if she's a man and she done unlock something that men didn't already know. We already knew this stuff. You late to the party.
friends, as relationship partners. Women are terrible relationship partners, right? But, you know, for me, it's about the truth. This is not me taking sides, because I believe that the world is in shambles. I believe that the communities are jacked up. I believe that, and all of this has to do with human behavior and how the sexes relate to each other and how the sexes relate to the planet. So it's not all on men. Men have their things that's wrong with them.
For sure.
I spoke about that.
But
Yeah.
the question I was going to say is that with men, right, I feel like as a man, we're held accountable at almost every turn, right? Your mama holds you accountable. Your friends hold you accountable. Everybody kind of holds you accountable. Do you see the same type of path for women?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
I think women are allowed to be.
And women ain't held accountable. They can do some of the most ridiculous shit, bro, and just get away with it. Look at the debauchery in people like Sexy Red. When people say they don't want their kids to do these things, but yet they'll play Sexy Red for their daughter. And if their daughter, their little 8-year-old daughter, is dancing like Sexy Red, they think it's cute. They want to take pictures and they laughing and they giggling. It's hypocrisy in this bullshit. But like I say, they acting like she's acting like she's unlocked something that men didn't already know. We already know this. It's just the fact that most men won't really speak on it for the fear of being shamed or being called maybe misogynistic or whatever it may be. They not gonna say anything, bro.
They're allowed to be delusional. They're allowed to not be disciplined. See, give you an example. If a boy child is crying and a girl child is crying, if he fell and she fell, they're gonna look at him and be like, boys don't cry, this, that, and the other one. And they'll just look at her, that's what girls do, they're just emotional. Let them cry, let them do this. Well, that's bad, because as girls grow older, they never know how to control and govern their emotions. They're allowed to allow any emotion, anger, frustration, sadness, depression, no matter what, they're allowed to express it however they want to express it. I've also come to the conclusion that, well, let me back up, because everybody knows that I date women.
right.
And when it comes to me speaking about relationship dynamics, a lot of the rebuttals always say, well, lesbian relationships have so much more violence.
They do.
They only say that because they're thinking about a relationship where a man might be putting his hands on a woman. They're not including the other side of the equation where women are putting their hands on men. And
Absolutely. Now she right about that. I've been in relationships like that. They will throw shit at you, try to provoke you, do everything in the world just because they know that some men simply won't touch them, bro. But you got a lot of men out there, they'll go upside your head. And when they get that reaction from a man, oh man, it's like they can't believe it. They just can't believe it. But it's like you didn't push that man to that point. I've been pushed to that point, but I didn't do anything. The most I did was got up in her face. I was so hot. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was so hot. I just backed away. I left. But I done been spit on. I done been punched, kicked, all that shit. In my sleep, slapped. Hell, I even thought one chick was gonna stab me, man. Because they know that most men won't do nothing. Because we got this culture now that say you can't do anything to a woman. She can do everything she wants to you, but as a man, you better not ever touch her because that's like a cardinal sin. But like I say, it's a lot of men that they don't give a fuck about that. So you can play those games if you want to, but you're gonna run across the right one, and he gonna do something to you.
The women ain't right. Just nasty and wrong.
men are not calling the cops.
True, yeah.
Women are very violent. A woman will put her hands on a man. She will hit him, spit in his face, call him all kinds of names, and everything is totally fine. Women are allowed to do this. And nobody should say anything about it. Now, these women they will be in these relationships and they will hit a man and they will take that same behavior and they'll take it to a lesbian relationship. See, it's the same person, same behavior.
Right.
Right? But it's looked at as different because the man is stronger and he's expected to hold himself. But a lot of times in a lot of these relationships, women are extremely narcissistic and violent. And this is what I have discovered as I continue to work with women. And so
she keeps saying is what I have continued to discover. Men have been saying this. How is she even getting a pass for this? Men have been saying this. Nobody listens to us. This whole culture, nobody listens to men at all. Hell, women think that they run everything, especially in the black community. In other communities, it's a patriarchy. In the black community, it is a matriarchy. Women think they run the damn men. The women want to run the household on the outside and the inside. They want to tell a man what to do every step of the way. Like they got all the answers. No, this society has made you think that way just so it can break down the black family. And a lot of us have bought into it. It's a lot of men that's scared of these women. I gotta go do what my wife say. My wife want me to come do this. My wife want me to come do that. Nigga, is your wife punching the clock for 17 hours, 16 hours? She complaining about shit that she can't do. You done made a nice life for her and she complaining and telling you how to spend the damn money. You a man. You know how to spend the money. You know how to budget. It's mostly the women that don't know how to budget. They don't know how to make the sacrifices. They don't want to make the sacrifices. They want the man to make the sacrifices. It's a level of respect that goes along with that.
what I realize is that women actually want men to be slaves. They actually want men to be their personal slaves.
No shit.
But you did preach that men were slaves in our first interview.
Yes, they are. They are slaves. But who are they slaves to? They're slaves to corporations, right? They're slaves to the military. They're slaves in everything that they do. Their whole purpose was for them to work for somebody. And that's what you see. The
For our
man
family.
then is a slave to his sex drive. And by a man being a slave to his sex drive, he turns around and becomes a slave to a woman who expects him to be a slave to his sex drive and her. So she uses that as a manipulation tool to try to get that man to do whatever she wants him to do.
Exactly. And that's why if a lot of men can control that aspect of their life, then the woman can't control them. But I think that's one of those things that kind of comes with age. Because as you in the beginning stages of your life, you want to just have sex. You want to smash every chick you can get your hands on, every chick you like, every chick you run across. You go to college, you want to do the whole party and smashing this chick. You want to smash multiple chicks in one day and do all of this stuff. But as you get older, you start to realize, nah, that's controlling me. That's actually controlling my pockets. I don't want a woman to have that type of control over me. You start to be selective with who you messing with. You start to say to yourself, hey, I'm gonna mess with this chick. You know, I mean, you fine, but I don't really want to fool with you. And it's not that maybe you have bad qualities or something, but it's because I know that you so freaky that I'm gonna get caught up in that bullshit. And I'm kind of old. I done did all that. I done had a good time. I'd rather be kind of freaky with this chick over here. She more laid back. She gonna let me do me. She's more cooperative. She's more submissive. Yeah, I'm going to roll with this one over here. See, you fine, you sexy, you hot. But all I know, we just going to be having sex and having a good time. And with that, I'm going to be spending a lot of damn unnecessary money on you. It's not going to benefit me at all. It's just going to be for me to keep maybe getting a hotel room, hanging out with you, feeding you, funding a certain type of lifestyle, all for sex. Like I say, that just comes with age. You get older, you start being real selective with your time and with who you hanging with. Cause that's how I've become. As I've gotten older, I could talk to women and immediately decide, no, I'm not even gonna fool with you. It ain't nothing against you. I just know, nah, that's not for me. You fine, but I don't dislike you or nothing like that. It's nothing like that. I'm not mad at you. I just don't, I'm a pass. Just like women be chasing a pocketbook, sometimes men chase sex. But that's emotional. That's why you say women are more emotional. Because see, they can get caught up in a pocketbook and just say, hey, this guy has money. So okay, I love him. Oh, he don't got no more money. I don't love him no more. And that's another aspect of it. Men, we love unconditionally. We don't care what you got. I just like you. I don't care about the makeup. I don't care about the clothes. I don't care about what you really bring to the table. I like your personality. You cool to hang with. You cool to talk to. That's unconditional. See, women, the moment you ain't got nothing, she don't love you no more. And she really don't love you no more. You could be rich as hell. She love you. She could make herself love you. Oh, this guy, oh, he's the best. I love him, girl. We got a car. He gave me $1,000 last week to go spend on blah, blah, blah. And some men get caught up in that. They think the female really love them. Nah, man, my girl, man. No, she don't, fool. She like what you spending on her. Some dudes is cool with that. I'm not one of them.
Well, here's the problem. Women don't live in reality. A lot of women are very, very, very delusional. And so they have these ideas about men in their head, what they want these men to be. It's like they got a movie and they have a cast. And there's a role for this knight in shining armor that's going to sweep her off her feet and worship her and only her for eternity. His eyes see nobody else but her. His phallus sees nobody else but her. And so she wants that man. She finds a man that she likes. She creates this picture. She's driven by sex, and she wants to trap that man to worship her for eternity. And if he does not play to every single thing that she has in her mind, she wants to blow up the world. She wants to.
Yeah, I believe that to a certain extent, but I believe a lot of women have gotten into this whole thing where I can have this man to fund this certain type of lifestyle. I can have this man because he's sexy, he's hot. We can have great sex. I can have this man just because he's a loving guy. That's the guy who, he really likes the chick, but she never had sex with him. She kind of string him along. You know what I'm saying? It's usually a friend. That's the friend. That's the guy that falls into their friend zone. She know he like him. I mean, she knows that he likes her. So she gonna keep playing along, bullshitting with him. She can call him when she needs something. Hey, Derek. Yeah, I'm just down right now. I'm trying to pay this bill. My man, he tripping again. Like, and then, since he your best friend, shit, what you need? You need 30, 40, Yeah, I just need like $50 to put on this bill. Oh, yeah, we cool like that. I'm gonna get, but deep down inside, he doing it because he really like you. And he's probably a nice guy. He probably the best guy for you. But you don't like him like that. So that's why I say a lot of women, they have a rotation of guys. Some women don't even care about none of that. They just have a rotation of guys to get some food. I even know a chick to do that. This the Monday guy. This the Uber Eats guy. She'll hit him up just to Uber her some food, and she don't even fuck with him. That's the only time she talk to him is when he Ubering food over there. This guy, he takes her to nice restaurants, so she go out with him. And he ain't getting no pussy. That's why I say when men, as they get older, things like that can't persuade him to fall into those traps. There's still guys my age that fall into that trap. They let the pussy control them. Like Pepe Le Pew, when he get that little whiff or something, he be floating in the air. It's niggas like that. See, when I catch that whiff or something, I just do this. If I like you, I like you. You ain't finna make me do nothing. They can call me what they want to call me. Motherfucker call me cheap. That's fine. I'm gonna have my money. I'm gonna keep my money in my pockets. I'm gonna have some when I get older. I'm not finna waste it on you. I need some more real. I need something that's gonna make sense.
Set off a detonator to destroy everything around her if things don't go exactly her way. And so what I come to realize is that a lot of men are struggling trying to placate to the delusions of women. Not only are they struggling trying to placate to the delusions of women, they are still struggling trying to control just their own biological urges and their neurological messages that are going. There's a lot of things that are going on with men, right? And because women ultimately don't care. Women don't care. Women say they like men. Women say they want men. But I've come to discover that women don't like men. And the only reason that they're dealing with men is because they have this addiction to sex and power.
I damn sure agree with that. I think a lot of women these days, they do not like men. Because they realize that they can get something out of men. What women really be wanting are tangible things a lot of the time. I don't think a lot of women care about love and shit like that no more. But I think what's going to happen is they're going to play this game long enough, and they're going to find out when they get older and they get lonely that they probably should have had a man. See, as a man, when I get older, I'm gonna still be able to go outside, cut my grass, do minor repairs around the house, fix little things. See, when a woman gets older and if she's lonely, she gonna have to pay for all that shit. It's all cute and fine now, but when you get older, ain't most men ain't gonna be checking for you. You ain't finna have some sugar daddy on the side and this dude buying this and buying that for you. You got to pay somebody to come cut that grass. And if you say, "Oh, I'm gonna have an apartment or a condo," that's foolish because then you're gonna be paying rent for your whole life. You ain't gonna be able to afford that. Say, "Oh well, I get my son to do it," but your son, he gonna have his own life. He not gonna want to keep coming over there acting like he your husband. He did that when he was a kid. That's gonna run out. But yeah, I don't think a lot of women like men no more. It's clear. Listen to them. If you come to X spaces, you can hear them all the time. They don't like dudes, bro. Now start talking like you got some money and see what happens. They perk up then. Oh, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Let them find out you just a regular 9 to 5 nigga. Boy, they gonna talk to you like a damn dog. That's not only in Twitter space, that's in real life. They don't give a damn about you. You need to wake up, bros.
And they feel like they can get a man to do what they want them to do and placate to their ego. That's the only reason why they're dealing with him. But if a man starts talking, if he starts expressing himself, women will write it off as mansplaining.
Sassy.
They'll write it off as misogyny, all of that, no matter what. So there's a lot of frustration that's going on with men because a male is a male. Everything that I said about males has not changed. That is still the same.
It hasn't changed, right? But
Right.
I do feel like men will definitely receive this version way better because now it's like you're actually saying a lot of the things that men have been saying, like the accountability piece, like I feel like because men don't want to get killed, they don't even speak on it. Like it's almost like an unwritten rule. A man will walk in and he'd be like, man. You know what I'm saying? But they won't
Just
speak
shut
on it
up.
because they get killed online. They get called sassy. They get called.
Oh yeah, you gotta know it. I've done it. I've been on here and I'm about to comment on something. I'm like, yeah, I just start delete. Because I'm thinking, man, if I say this, boy, the hell I'm gonna catch. It's gonna be women co-signing some bullshit. But if I post this, I'm gonna catch so much hell. But every day, I'm getting more and more. Well, I just don't give a damn. I really don't. I'm just gonna say whatever I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna be done with it. You don't like it? You know what you can do.
Whatever. And so you have now stepped into this role and we're sitting back like, shit, go ahead. We rooting you on now because now you have taken on the role to, like you're saying, kind of like the Kevin Samuels was quote unquote trying to get them to see what we see, but we just can't express because we get killed for it.
Well, and it's not only that y'all get killed for it, it's really because males have communication barriers. Your brains are not wired the same. You don't have the same capabilities as women. So you all's communication abilities are not nearly as strong as women. So y'all.
No, that ain't true. That ain't true. That ain't true. It's just what he said. It's basically that women, they don't mind telling the truth because they know certain things can't happen to them. But men, we know if we tell the truth, somebody's feelings gonna get hurt. Bad. Women don't want to hear the real truth coming from men. They don't want to hear that. They think they do, but they don't want to hear that. You know, when your wife or your girlfriend looks at you and she say, "Do I look fat in this?" Do you tell her the truth? What would happen if you told her, yeah, you look fat. You need to lose weight. You see how your stomach is sticking out when you put that belt on? You got a muffin top. You need to find something else to put on. You look a mess. Say that to her and see what happens.
People don't even really know how to convey to a woman to a way that she will really understand what you're going through. She can't see it, and y'all don't know how to explain it. The thing with me is I can see both sides. See, I'm not on men's side and I'm not on women's side. I'm on the truth side. And I can see men and I can see women. And because women have the womb and women are they are the mothers and they are the first teacher of the child. The fact of the matter is that the majority of the weight does lie on women. Women just don't realize it because women think that they're the same as men. Now, men know because you all don't have the power that women have. And so it comes to a place where people are blinded by their privilege. Privileged people don't know that they have privileges. So the people who don't have the power that other people have, they can feel the effects. They know the differences. So women are completely blinded by the privileges they have. They're completely blinded by the power they have. And the issue comes down to women truly believe, males and females actually think alike, but in different ways. So I'll give it to you like this. So I majored in cell and molecular biology, and one of my classes was physics. And we went over Newton's laws of motion. And we all know that the third law of motion is for every reaction, there's an opposite equal reaction, right?
Right.
So the way my physics teacher broke it down, he actually made it a little bit more detailed. And he said, if body A imposes a force on body B imposes a force on body A that is equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So in other words, when two things clash, hit head on, the force is equal, it's the same. And it moves backwards in the opposite direction at the same magnitude. So if it travels 10 feet to the left, it's also going to travel 10 feet to the right. So what's happening with men and women are just like these vehicles. They're clashing. They're doing the exact same things to each other, and they don't realize it. Both the male and female, they approach relationships with a slave and slave owner mentality. So women actually believe that men were created to serve them. Women believe that men were put on this planet to serve and worship them and work for them. Women believe that a man is to go to work and work his fingers to the bone until he dies so that she can have a soft life and just ride easy. Women really believe that.
Yeah, they believe that. And it's kind of true to a certain extent. But they keep forgetting about the other aspect of it. If a man is to do these things for you, then you should be submissive, cooperative, play your role. Like The Rock used to say, shut your mouth and know your role. Take care of the home, take care of the children. That's the issue with it. See, we know our role in this, but most women don't know they role in this. No, I take that back. They know they role, they just don't want to play they role. They want to skirt over all the things that they're supposed to do in relationships and only require the men to be traditional. They want the men to do all the traditional things, but as a woman, most women don't want the women to do the traditional thing. That's something that they tend to always forget about. They don't ever want to do the traditional thing. It's a few of them out there. And if you listen to them now, you can watch YouTube videos, you can get on TikTok and whatnot, and you'll see a lot of what's going on now where they say, hey, I don't want to work. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of paying bills. I want to be a traditional housewife. I just want to sit at the house. Yeah, I want to cook. I want to clean. I want to take care of the kids. Because a lot of them have gotten out there and they realize now, like, nah, that's for men. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get up every morning and hit a clock. I don't want to go somewhere and have somebody tell me what to do. I don't want to go to work and be expected to work 8 hours. And when you get to the 8th hour, they say, hey, man, we need you to stay over. We need you to do this, X, Y, and Z. I need you to go save somebody if your job is that. I need you to put your life on the line in these certain type of situations. They don't want to do that, bro.
But not only do they believe it, the men work towards that though.
And that's where men are frustrated at. And the reason why they're frustrated is because men are ruled by their sex drive. A lot of women don't understand that sex is a real need for men, to the point where women think that men just want sex all the time. They don't understand that a lot of times it's more of a need as opposed to a want. So men find themselves unconsciously chasing women, and they feel like they're being punished for chasing these women, and they are being taxed for their biology. Men feel like they are being taxed for their biology. So women realize this. So this is where the men who might have access to women, this is where they start calling these men simps, because they are led by their biology and they start to placate to the delusions of the woman and her power-hungry self. And so when a man falls for that, other men don't respect that, because it's like you not being a man and having self-control, you letting this woman manipulate your biology for that. See, this is where the conflict come in.
Right.
Right? So all I do is like, this is my thing. I really sit down here and analyze and understand what's going on. Women don't understand the male world at all. So for me, I'm just a conduit. I can communicate the male issues to women who actually want to be better people.
Can we talk about, let's say, the top 3 male issues that you have to usually communicate to women?
Lord have mercy. The number one thing is the stress that men have to deal with in the world that is not the same as women, okay? Because women really have it in their mind that men are not being trained. They're just not being taught how to communicate. They're not being taught how to feel. Women really think that this is an educational difference between men and women as opposed to a neurological and biological difference. They don't understand that. So they don't understand that the male has a threshold of what he can handle and what he cannot handle. So women don't understand that they're placing an enormous amount of pressure and weight on men that exceed the capabilities of males by nature, which is part of the reason why so many males fail, because by nature, males are not social creatures. The male's nature is designed in the wild to spend all his time and energy trying to build himself up to be a competitor against other men, to conquer them, to win the reward of being able to pass his genes along. And as a result of that, the male is not wired to be a caretaker. He is not wired to be, quote unquote, social and family oriented. He's not wired to be monogamous. So you now take this person out of a individual where he has to be really solo. You take him out of a solo, one man, every man for himself environment and put him in a social system and now tell him to do everything that goes against how he's wired. From thoughts.
So once again, like I say, this is things that men have always been knowing. It's taking a woman to tell y'all this, to try to play the role of a man, and she don't even like the role. Now she telling y'all what it is after men been saying this and nobody listened to us. Y'all gonna listen.
Behaviors, sex, everything. It all goes against the male's nature. And then the women, because women hate self, I figured out women hate themselves and they hate other women. So because of that, because women do not have camaraderie amongst themselves, they have no loyalty amongst themselves, and they have no support amongst themselves, they have abandoned their relationships with their true supporters that could help them in child rearing and everything. And they look to men to replace women and take on the duties of women. That's what they're doing. And so they're trying to put so much weight on men being caretakers, helpers in the house, making all this money, competing with other men. But it's messed up because women also inhibit male development by coddling males too much, stepping in and handling conflict for males to the point where they can't integrate socially. They can't be competitors. So the male is really hindered. Then when he gets into a relationship, he's not been able to juggle all of this stuff. And since the women are narcissistic and don't know anything about males, the woman is only caring about what's good for her, what she wants. He's not doing what she wants him to do, so he's failing.
Right.
Right? Yeah. So this is where all the conflict comes in. And the men are not going to be the ones to change this. It's going to be the women to change it because the male can only do so much. He has a threshold. And this is the part that women don't understand, which is the reason why I started this education.
Which is the reason why it's a male role and it's a feminine female role. That's how you make the whole pie work. She gotta add her ingredients, you gotta add your ingredients until y'all make something that tastes good in the end. If somebody ain't playing their part right, none of this shit gonna work. It's not hard, bro. If the man ain't going to work and doing what he's supposed to do for the family, and she's doing her part, it's not gonna work. If the man is doing his part and she's not doing her part, it's not gonna work, bro. That's just what it is.
Process with learning men.
Well, do you also, because I can see the value of you actually mentoring the men about women. Do you happen to do that?
No. That ain't gonna happen. That shouldn't happen. And we don't need to start that shit either. We don't need to start no women mentoring no men how to be men. That's the last thing we need to do, especially from her ass. Now, all she did was play the role of a man, and now she's experiencing what it is to be a man, and now she's telling you, and people is all of a sudden listening and agreeing. That don't mean that she's qualified to tell men how to be men. She should have listened from the beginning, and she would have known this. We don't need her to tell us how to be us when we already know what's going on. Don't be stupid. And this guy is just agreeing with this shit. That's why you hear certain people say stuff like, I don't listen to bitches. I hate to say it like that, but it's true. You heard people say that. I don't listen to what women say they want because they don't even know what they want. Because it's true. They say one thing and do another. You can say, babe, what you want for your birthday? And she might tell you, if she tells you. I guarantee you by the time her birthday come around, she'll say, I kind of changed my mind. I don't want that. She'll probably wait till the last minute. And you'll be like, damn, I just bought you, this purse. I don't really like that purse no more. I like this kind of purse. Oh, baby, can you take it back? They don't know what they want. See, me and we done already made it up in our mind. I could tell you 3 weeks from now, a month from now. What you want for your birthday, babe? Oh, shit, you can just give me this game right here. I ain't gonna change my mind. Or you can give me these shoes. I ain't gonna change my mind. Even if I do change my mind, it ain't gonna be a big deal. I'll take it. That'll just be extra. I'll be like, okay, then I'm gonna go buy me this. Ain't no big deal. I'll be satisfied.
Ask.
Got you. Okay.
Because we got to understand, men don't respect women. Let's just keep it a book, right? Men do not respect women. They don't respect the intelligence of women. And I understand to a degree because women are very, very delusional and they don't know anything. You can take a woman with a PhD. She can have a medical degree. She can have money in the bank. But this woman is totally ignorant when it comes to relation. Played, she will fall to her emotions and still not be able to see anything clearly. And knowing that women do not understand males and what makes a male, she can't have any logical or rational feedback that can actually help a male on anything really in his life. So this is why men ultimately don't respect women because they know that women don't know anything about them. And then on top of that, because women make terrible decisions when it comes to sex and things like that, the men can't trust them there, right?
No shit. I'll be saying that. They make bad decisions, bro. As a man, you made some bad decisions. But when you see some of the decisions that a woman makes in a particular situation, especially if it's a hostile environment or if it's somewhere you need to just relax, think about it, take your time, make a choice. Boy, they'll pick the worst option every time. Have you ever been with a woman at a restaurant? And as men, most men know this. They could bring your food out wrong. And okay, I don't want them to, mess with my food or spit in my food or do something bad to it. Most men, you'll say, oh, no, excuse me, I had a steak, I wanted it well done. It kind of made it medium rare. Could y'all fix that for me? Like, okay, sir, we'll take care of that. We'll take care of that. A woman, she'll say, damn, look what I didn't ask for this. Ma'am. They made my Miss medium rare. I asked for well done. She done raised hell with this woman. Now this woman's scared and she looking crazy. Now she done took it to the back. Now you don't know what you finna get out the back. They too emotional. See, as a man, I can calm down. I can take it easy. Because I don't want them to mess with my food. When I'm with a woman, if she pulls some shit like that, I don't eat none of that shit. Unless I already got it. But if that shit go back and she done raised hell, I ain't eating that shit. I'm leaving. I didn't had that experience before. She like, you leaving? They finna I said, man, look, I don't want to eat here. Tell them to cancel it. We can go get something else, but I'm not eating this. Because you done raised too much hell with these folks. And you want me to sit down and eat what they finna bring out here after you done acted like that? Hell no. You might have all kind of spit in your food. With a smile on their face.
Makes sense. And then on top of that, if a man wants to knock you down and just smash you, he ain't trying to hear nothing you got to say anyway. So there's 3 layers of why men ain't listening to women. So I don't talk to men. I don't teach men nothing unless they genuinely want my help. Otherwise, I don't got nothing to say to them, really.
Right. I was going to say this. I feel like it's a bag there to be made.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. But I got to ask you this, right? What do you see as the biggest misconception society has about women's ability to lead compared to men? Because we just had Kamala Harris, right, versus Trump. And we got a guy, again, I'm just outside looking in. We got a guy that's a felon that openly racist or says racist thing, has incited a riot. Like, he's just clearly not the best candidate for the job. So how is it that, you have a black woman, quote unquote, say what you will, but she sounds more qualified. She's actually already the vice president. Like, what is the misconception about this?
I don't really think there's a misconception when you look at the state of just women, right? Because you got to think about this. Women don't care about male issues. And men are cracking right now. They under a whole lot of pressure, and nobody's listening to people like Jordan Peterson, the women specifically. Now, the men listening to them, but you got Jordan Peterson out here saying stuff. You got Scott Galloway out here saying things. And these are all men's issues where men are on the brink of, just blowing up. And women they don't care. As a matter of fact, the women are doing things that are triggering these men to make things worse. And it's like nobody's hearing these males' issues. So men, as they see that women don't care about what's going on with them, and they steady pushing these philosophies, messing up the children, these different sexualities and all this, they see it as being illogical, which a lot of it is, right? And the women can't see clearly. The women can't even handle their own lives. They can't make good decisions for their own lives, let alone a country, okay? Then you have ratchet 304 type women endorsing. That was a big mistake. Why are you getting entertainers, these types of entertainers at that, right, to speak to the demographic? That tells you the mentality of the demographic that you're appealing to, which the average person sees as delusional, reckless, and the problem in society. Do you think?
Boom. Did I not say that? Was I not saying at the whole election? I'm sitting here screaming to the top of my lungs at black people when I was doing some of these lives. I'm saying, what the hell are you doing? This lady got ratchet people doing performances, and y'all talking about y'all love this shit. I seen men on Facebook saying this is the best campaign they've seen in years. You heard Joy Reid say it on TV. But back to the men, I'm thinking, what the hell are you talking about, bro? You got women co-signing this stuff. She got Sexy fucking Red, Megan Thee Stallion, Glorilla. These people are shaking their ass on stage for a presidential campaign. They think all black people want is entertainment. And like she said, they trying to appeal to a certain segment of these people that most men think is illogical. And they keep wondering why people wasn't voting for that shit. You don't get it? You can't see anything wrong with that? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Whatsoever. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life, bro. To see these celebrities endorsing this. You got celebrities endorsing this, and they getting mad because people is not backing them. Just because they said they feel like we should go along with it. What kind of foolishness is that? That makes absolutely no sense. None.
They're going to vote for you. That is you know what I mean?
That's a good point. That's a good point. And I even heard like a podcast where some black men felt that it was almost disgraceful. Like this is what you think of us. That
Yes.
This is what you have to go do
Yes.
to get the black vote.
Yeah.
Versus just speaking to us like human beings.
Mm-hmm. Because it is disrespectful. Because at the end of the day, just check out all of the presidents that wanted to appeal to black folks. And what did they do? It was all entertainment. Why did they like Clinton? Because Clinton was smoking weed and playing the saxophone, and he was getting head in the office.
Right.
Hot sauce in my bag swag. Dab on them. That's all you gotta do. And so now you get this woman, when we are in a new age and things are getting really bad, and you up against Donald Trump, a white man, listen, you're gonna have to really show because at the end of the day, a man is a man, and they will choose a man before they choose a woman, especially when you keep showing that you have no logic and no rationale behind what you're doing, because the things that the people are having a problem with, you're showing to be exacerbating them. You're showing that you're gonna make this even worse. So now it's a lesser of two evils things. And they'll rather go with what they know as opposed to going with something that they see is gonna take them down a path they already are complaining about. They don't wanna go down.
That's deep. This whole election was strange. Do you think now that Trump is president, right? We just got to accept it. I don't know what side you land on. I'm not going to ask you that. But now that we're here, do you think anything will change, right, for you specifically? Because it does seem like he does have, you see him talk about the abortions. You see him talk about deporting. Like, he's just very straightforward and almost scary in a sense that if you're on the other side.
Well, see, for me, because I understand that, when it comes to government and politics, you got layers. The most influence you ever gonna have is on your local political level, right?
Big fact.
So,
I guess I just wanted to hit on the part where she was talking about the women and how they are, and I guess what she's learned from that. Let me see if it's some other. Okay, they got some other little pieces. Let me skip ahead and see what they talking about here. I don't know how much more longer I'm gonna go with this, but we're gonna see.
Like clank.
But can we acknowledge if a man got up here and said the exact same thing you just said, they would label him misogynistic?
Of course they would, because like I said before, women don't listen to men. Women think that men were created to serve them. So if you ain't serving them, they don't want to hear nothing you got to say, because at the end of the day, women think that we need to teach males to do this. Women want men to be women. Women want society to transform a male into a female. Women hate women. Women hate each other. But they want to get a man and then make him embody all of the characteristics of a woman.
Right.
That's what they want to do.
Yeah, it's just confusing.
So it all makes sense. Trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, wanting your cake and eat it too. I think all of that had everything to do with women. Coming up with these things had everything to do with trying to figure out what a woman wants, because women want it all.
Exactly. Like the whole Angel Reese thing. You remember that? She don't want you to look at her as a sex object. But then she gets online and every few weeks she'll post something with some, very revealing. You can see the booty cheeks, you can see the cleavage, which, we've been seeing cleavage, but she does things in a way that she's basically sexualizing herself. She'll cry, "No, I don't want to be sexualized. Y'all don't need to look at me like that." And then turn around and post something where she may be laying down or whatnot. Y'all seen the video I showed you, the World Star Hip Hop video. She got on lingerie. Shoot, even the video where she got her coochie waxed. And then they put it up to the camera when it was like a mold of her coochie. She put it up to the camera. So we know what her coochie looked like. How is that not being sexualized? That you did, not us. That's why I say this shit don't make no sense. But I could go on and on with this video, man. It's even longer. It's got about another a whole hour, you know. But I just like that beginning first part where I guess she could talk about what she picked up when she trying to play a role as a man and what she done figured out, things that men already know. We didn't really need her to tell that. But hey, most of y'all won't get it until you hear it coming from a woman. So, but yeah, I'm gonna end it right there, man. And as always, I appreciate y'all coming through. I appreciate y'all checking out the video. I appreciate y'all liking, reposting. Make sure y'all go check me out at YouTube on Roddy Rod Show. Go over there and subscribe and like some videos and leave some comments. You can also find me right here on X at DJ Roddy. Catch me live sometime or just on the timeline. But as always, man, y'all know what it is. I'll catch y'all next time.